All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Naresh Mago and with me is V.C. Pramod. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi condemns Birbhum violence, urges people of West Bengal to never forgive those who encourage criminals. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir declined after abrogation of Article 370. BJP Legislature Party in Uttar Pradesh to meet in Lucknow today to elect its leader. India rejects China's uncalled remarks on Jammu and Kashmir at OIC meet, says Beijing has no locus standi to comment on internal matters of India. India successfully test fires surface-to-surface supersonic cruise missile BrahMos in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Asia's largest civil aviation event, Wings India 2022, begins today at Begumpet Airport in Hyderabad. Centre decides not to issue advisories to states on COVID-19 management after March 31. Use of face masks to continue. World Tuberculosis Day is being observed today. Sprinter Pranav Prashant Desai wins India's first gold medal at World Para-Athletics Grand Prix in Dubai. And PV Sindhu, Saina Nehwal and Kidambi Shrikant cruise to second round of Swiss Open Badminton. As we start the bulletin, we appeal to our listeners to stay safe from COVID-19 by following these 4 simple steps. Get fully vaccinated. Wear a face mask. Maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing and focus on hand and face hygiene. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has condemned the violent incident at Birbhum in West Bengal, where at least 8 people were charged to death on Tuesday. The Prime Minister was speaking after virtually inaugurating the Biplob Gallery at Victoria Memorial Hall in Kolkata on Shaheed Divas yesterday. Describing the Birbhum incident as a heinous crime, Mr. Modi urged the people of West Bengal to never forgive the perpetrators of such incidents and those who encouraged the criminals. The Prime Minister also voiced hope that the state government will take strict action against those involved in the incident. On behalf of the centre, Mr. Modi has assured the state to provide whatever help it needs to punish the perpetrators of the Birbhum violence at the earliest.
मैं आशा करता हूं कि राज्य सरकार बंगाल की महान धरती पर ऐसा जघन्य पाप करने वालों को जरूर सजा दिलवाएगी। मैं बंगाल के लोगों से भी आग्रह करूंगा कि ऐसी वारदात को अंजाम देने वालों को, ऐसे अपराधियों का हौसला बढ़ाने वालों को कभी माफ न करें। केंद्र सरकार की तरफ से मैं राज्य को इस बात के लिए भी आश्वस्त करता हूं कि अपराधियों को जल्द से जल्द सजा दिलवाने में जो भी मदद वो चाहेगी, भारत सरकार मुहैया कराई जाएगी।
Remembering the great patriots of the country, the Prime Minister said that the tales of sacrifice of Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and Sukhdev inspire all of us to work tirelessly for the country. Mr. Modi said they have to move forward with a new vision in New India.
ये नई दृष्टि भारत के आत्मविश्वास की है, आत्मनिर्भरता की है, पुरातन पहचान की है, भविष्य के उत्थान की है और इसमें कर्तव्य की भावना का ही सबसे ज्यादा महत्व है। हम आज अपने कर्तव्यों का जितनी निष्ठा से पालन करेंगे, देश का भविष्य उतना ही भव्य होगा। इसलिए आज कर्तव्य निष्ठा ही हमारी राष्ट्रीय भावना होनी चाहिए। कर्तव्य पालन ही हमारी राष्ट्रीय प्रेरणा होनी चाहिए। कर्तव्य ही भारत का राष्ट्रीय चरित्र होना चाहिए।
The Biplob Gallery displays the contributions of the revolutionaries in the freedom struggle and their armed resistance to the British colonial rule. The purpose of this new gallery is to provide a holistic view of the events that led up to 1947 and highlight the important role played by the revolutionaries. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said, after the abrogation of Article 370, terror, justice, democracy and economic opportunities are reaching Jammu and Kashmir. Replying to the discussion for the budget for the Union Territory, Ms. Sitharaman said there has been a significant drop in terror-related incidents and increased opportunities of investment and jobs in Jammu and Kashmir.
There's been a 33% drop in infiltration, 51 in 2020 versus 34 in 2021. So 33% drop in infiltration, 90% decrease in ceasefire violations, 937 in 2020 versus 98 in 2021. 61% decline in terrorism-related incidents, where in 2020 we had 244, in 2021 we've had 229.
Ms. Sitharaman said various impediments which prevailed for industrial development have also been removed, and the Industrial Promotion Scheme of Jammu and Kashmir, initiated by the Government of India, has opened new doors for development.
New Delhi has rejected the uncalled reference to India by Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi during his speech at the Organization of Islamic Cooperation meeting in Pakistan. In response to media queries yesterday on reference to Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir made by the Chinese Foreign Minister in his speech at the OIC meeting, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said matters related to Jammu and Kashmir are entirely the internal affairs of India. He said other countries, including China, have no locus standi to comment. He added that they should note that India refrains from public judgment of their internal issues. India has successfully test-fired surface-to-surface supersonic cruise missile BrahMos in the Andaman and Nicobar. The extended-range missile hit its target with pinpoint accuracy. Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chaudhary congratulated on the successful test-firing of BrahMos missile.
The government has said that the import of toys, games, sports equipment from China is showing a declining trend. The imports of these products from China have reduced from $451 million in 2018-19 to around $206 million in 2021. Minister of State for Commerce and Industry Anupriya Patel said this in a written reply in the Lok Sabha yesterday. She said to control import of cheap and substandard toys, Director General of Foreign Trade has mandated sample testing from each consignment. Ms. Patel said in case of failure, the consignment is either sent back or destroyed at the cost of the importer. The minister said the government has also issued Toys Quality Control Order 2020, through which toys have been brought under compulsory Bureau of Indian Standards certification. The Uttar Pradesh BJP legislature party will meet today in Lucknow to elect its leader. Union Home Minister Amit Shah and former Jharkhand Chief Minister Raghubar Das have been appointed as observers for the meeting. Union Minister in Uttar Pradesh BJP in charge Dharmendra Pradhan will also be present at the meeting. Later in the evening, a BJP delegation led by the legislature party leader will call on Governor Anandiben Patel and stake claim to form a new government in the state. As per the statutory provision, the governor will invite the leader of the BJP legislature party to form the government and announce the time of swearing-in ceremony. The swearing-in of Chief Minister will be held in Ekana Stadium on Shaheed Path in Lucknow tomorrow. The grand swearing-in ceremony is expected to be attended by a galaxy of senior BJP leaders, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, and BJP National President J.P. Nadda, besides other central ministers. In Bihar, all three MLAs of Mukesh Sahani-led Vikashsheel Insan Party VIP have joined the BJP. The three MLAs, Raju Singh from Sahibganj constituency, Mishri Lal Yadav from Alinagar, and Swarna Singh from Godha Bauram, handed over a letter of support to Bihar Assembly Speaker Vijay Kumar Sinha yesterday. With the inclusion of the three VIP MLAs, BJP's tally in the 243-member Bihar Assembly has risen to 77, making it the single largest party in the House, overtaking RJD, which has 75 members.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi condemns Birbhum violence, urges people of West Bengal to never forgive those who encourage criminals. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir declined after abrogation of Article 370. BJP legislature party in Uttar Pradesh to meet in Lucknow today to elect its leader. India rejects China's uncalled remarks on Jammu and Kashmir at OIC meet, says Beijing has no locus standi to comment on internal matters of India. India successfully test-fires surface-to-surface supersonic cruise missile BrahMos in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Asia's largest civil aviation event, Wings India 2022, begins today at Begumpet Airport in Hyderabad. Centre advises not to issue advisories to states on COVID-19 management after March 31st. Use of face masks to continue. World Tuberculosis Day is being observed today. Sprinter Pranav Prashant Desai wins India's first gold medal at World Para-Athletics Grand Prix in Dubai, and PV Sindhu, Saina Nehwal and Kidambi Srikanth cruise to second round of the Swiss Open Badminton. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 870-001-4242 पर।
870-001-4242।
The centre has said that there is no longer any need to invoke the provisions of the Disaster Management Act for COVID containment measures. The decision has been taken in view of the steep decline in the number of COVID-19 cases in the country. After the expiry of the existing order on 31st March, no further order will be issued by the Home Ministry to the states. The centre has also advised the states and union territories to discontinue issuing orders and guidelines under the Act. Union Home Secretary Ajay Bhalla has written a letter to all states and union territories to this effect. However, advisories of the Union Health Ministry on COVID containment measures, including on the use of face masks and hand hygiene, will continue to guide the overall national response to the pandemic. Our correspondent reports that over the last 7 weeks, there has been a steep decline in the number of COVID cases in the country.
For the first time, the central government had issued orders and guidelines under the Disaster Management Act on 24th March 2020 for the containment of COVID-19 in the country. Home Secretary said, in the view of the nature of the disease, the state governments still need to remain watchful of the situation. Wherever any surge in the number of cases is observed, the states and union territories may consider taking prompt and proactive action at local level. Centre has also asked state and union territories to continue implementation and monitoring of necessary measures for prompt and effective management of COVID and to ensure effective compliance of various advisories issued by Union Health Ministry. With Dipendra Kumar, Aarti Rana, AIR News, Delhi.
India's COVID vaccination coverage has crossed the 182 crore mark. More than 28 lakh vaccine doses were administered yesterday. Over 69 lakh vaccine doses have been administered to 12 to 14 years age group so far.
Ayush Ministry is conducting the world's first multi-center phase 3 clinical trial examining the efficacy of Ayurveda in the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis. The clinical trial will be conducted in accordance with stringent International Council for Harmonization of Technical Requirements for Pharmaceuticals for Human Use, Good Clinical Practice Guidelines. The ministry said the trial is being closely monitored by Dr. Daniel Eric Fost, a renowned rheumatologist at the University of California, Los Angeles in the United States of America. World Tuberculosis Day is being observed today. The day aims to raise awareness about the devastating health, social and economic consequences of tuberculosis TB and to step up efforts to end the global epidemic. The day is observed to commemorate the anniversary of Dr. Robert Koch's discovery of the TB bacteria in 1882. TB remains one of the world's deadliest infectious killers. Each day, nearly 4,000 people lose their lives to TB and close to 28,000 people fall ill with this preventable and curable disease. Global efforts to combat TB have saved an estimated 63 million lives since the year 2000. President Ram Nath Kovind has called upon everyone to work together to achieve a tuberculosis-free India by 2025. In his message on World Tuberculosis Day, President Kovind congratulated all the TB champions who have battled the disease and are showing the way for others.
President Ram Nath Kovind will be on a 2-day visit to Gujarat beginning today. On the first day of his visit, President Kovind will address the members of the Gujarat Legislative Assembly in Gandhinagar. The President will visit Jamnagar to present the President's colour to the INS Valsura tomorrow. Former Chief Justice of India Ramesh Chandra Lahoti passed away in New Delhi last evening. He was 81. Justice Lahoti served as the 35th Chief Justice of India from 1st June 2004 till 1st November 2005. He also served as a judge in Delhi High Court and Madhya Pradesh High Court. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have expressed grief over the passing away of former Chief Justice of India.
Examination for class 10th and 12th of Uttar Pradesh Madhyamik Shiksha Parishad, popularly known as UP Board, started today. The exams are being held in two shifts, from 8 am to 11:15 am and from 2 pm to 5:15 pm with adherence to COVID-appropriate behavior. More than 50 lakh students of class 10th and 12th are scheduled to take part in the exams, which will be conducted at more than 8,000 examination centres. Wings India 2022, Asia's largest civil aviation event, will take off today at Begumpet Airport in Hyderabad. Coinciding with Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, the 5th edition of the biennial event will be held with the main theme, India at the rate 75, New Horizon for Aviation Industry. The 4-day show is being organized by the Ministry of Civil Aviation and Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, FICCI, and expected to provide a congenial forum catering to the rapidly changing dynamics of the sector. Focusing on new business acquisition, investments, policy formation and regional connectivity, the Wing India is expected to provide a much-desired fillip to the aviation. More from our Hyderabad correspondent.
Considered as Asia's largest event on civil aviation, Wings India 2022 provides a platform for discussions on different segments of the sector and showcase some of the latest products. The first 2 days, that is today and tomorrow, will be business days and the exhibition is open to public later 2 days. Many of the sessions are closed-door programs, including roundtable on helicopter, business aviation and country-specific roundtables. Some of the attractions of the event include drone demonstration today and exhibition and flying display by Sarang team of Indian Air Force on all 4 days. It is also expected to provide a platform to leading players in civil aviation sector to showcase their products. The Wings India Awards will be presented tomorrow. Lakshmi, AIR News, Hyderabad.
And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation.
India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
On the 24th of March 1902, the revolutionary organization Anushilan Samiti was formed by freedom fighter Pramathnath Mitra in Bengal Presidency. It was headed by Barindra Kumar Ghosh, the younger brother of Sri Aurobindo Ghosh. A number of nationalists were associated with it at various times, notably Aurobindo Ghosh, Bhupendranath Datta, Deshbandhu Chittaranjan Das, Surendranath Tagore, Pulin Bihari Das, Sarla Devi, Rash Bihari Bose, Bagha Jatin, Sachendranath Sanyal, Jatin Das and Bipin Chandra Pal.
The genesis of the Samiti can be traced to the formation of youth clubs devoted to the threefold aims of physical, mental and moral development of the youth. The Samiti propounded revolutionary violence for ending the British Raj in India. Its two arms, the Dhaka Anushilan Samiti, centered in Dhaka, and the Jugantar group, centered at Calcutta, were formed and organized on the lines of the secret societies of Russia and Italy. The Samiti was inspired by the thoughts, speeches and writings of Swami Vivekananda and influenced by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee's Anand Math.
From 1907, the members belonging to the Anushilan Samiti were very active in revolutionary activities. Aurobindo Ghosh and Bipin Chandra Pal began the Bengali nationalist weekly Jugantar, New Era, and its English counterpart, Bande Mataram in March 1906 that openly preached armed rebellion to create the necessary revolutionary mentality among Indians. The Muzaffarpur killing is one of the most famous events in the history of the revolution in Bengal. Both Khudiram Bose and Prafulla Chaki became heroes among the masses of Bengal. A bomb manufacturing factory was discovered in Maniktola Garden in Calcutta. Barendra Kumar Ghosh was brought to trial in the so-called Alipo conspiracy case. The Alipo trial led to a series of arrests and raids, culminating in the divisions in the Anushilan Samitis.
Alarmed by the revolutionary activities of the Samiti, the British took a series of measures to crush it. Their activities and that of the Ghadar party led to the passage of the Defence of India Act 1950. After World War I, the draconian Rowlatt Acts were passed to deal with them. The Dhaka Anushilan Samiti apparently broke up when Pulin Das was arrested and deported for life. Master Das Surya Sen conducted the last revolutionary act in East Bengal at the Chittagong Armory raid on the 18th of April 1930.
In the late 1930s, many members of Anushilan Samiti joined the Indian National Congress under the leadership of Subhash Chandra Bose. The Jugantar branch formally dissolved in 1938. In independent India, the party in West Bengal evolved into the Revolutionary Socialist Party, while the eastern branch later evolved into the Shramik Krishak Samajwadi Dal in present-day Bangladesh.
We also remember Ghadarite revolutionary Gyani Pritam Singh, who actively used to promote patriotism amongst Indians in Thailand. In 1940, he was instrumental in the organization of the Independent League of India with the support of former colleagues in the Ghadar party.
Pritam Singh worked in coordination with a Japanese intelligence officer to counter British power. Pritam Singh was selected as a member of a goodwill mission to Tokyo for holding informal discussions on Indian independence. However, after taking off for Tokyo, Japan, on the 24th of March 1942, his airplane crashed and he was killed. We salute the great freedom fighter Gyani Pritam Singh.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
The fourth edition of the prestigious Chitra Bharti Film Festival of Bhartiya Chitra Sadhana will start tomorrow at the new campus of Makhanlal Chaturvedi National University of Journalism and Communication located at Bishankhedi in Bhopal. The inaugural ceremony of this three-day film festival will be attended by several eminent personalities including actor Akshay Kumar. Here is a report from our Bhopal correspondent.
Secretary of Bhartiya Chitra Sadhana Atul Gangwar told AIR that 712 films in 15 languages were received from 18 states of the country for this festival.
हमारी एक स्क्रीनिंग कमेटी थी जिसमें पत्रकार, फिल्म मेकर्स, इस तरीके के लोग शामिल थे. उन्होंने 716 फिल्मों को बारीकी से देखा. फिल्में बहुत अच्छी थी, लेकिन उनमें से सर्वश्रेष्ठ 120 फिल्मों को निकाला. उन्होंने फिल्म में जो पुरस्कार दिए जाते हैं उसका निर्णय लिया.
The film festival will conclude on March 27 at the Rabindra Bhavan, Bhopal. Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur will be the chief guest at the closing ceremony. Bhartiya Chitra Sadhana is an organization working for Indian thought in the film sector. It organizes Chitra Bharti Film Festival at the national level every 2 years. Apart from this, various types of activities and events like film review, film screening and training at local level are also organized by the Bhartiya Chitra Sadhana. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
Sprinter Pranav Prashant Desai won India's first gold medal at the 2022 World Para Athletics Grand Prix in Dubai yesterday, claiming the top prize in the men's 200-meter T64 final. Desai, a former gold medalist at the Fazza Championships, led from start to finish to end the race in 24.42 seconds.
Ace Indian shuttlers PV Sindhu, Saina Nehwal, Kidambi Shrikant, Parupalli Kashyap and young Ashmita Chaliha sailed into the second round of the Swiss Open badminton tournament at St. Jacob Schal at Basel in Switzerland yesterday. PV Sindhu, a two-time Olympic medalist, defeated Line Kafels of Denmark in the opening round of the women's singles. Second seed Sindhu will take on world number 30 Neslihan Yigit of Turkey in the next round today. London Olympics bronze medalist Saina Nehwal registered an easy win over French Yale Houyou, while Ashmita Chaliha defeated Léonie Houet of France in the first round of the women's singles. Saina will face Kisona Selvadure of Malaysia, while Chaliha will meet 8-seed Kirsty Gilmer of Scotland in the second round today. In the men's singles, Kidambi Shrikant defeated Danish Mads Christoffersen, while Parupalli trounced Frenchman Inogat Roy in the first round. 15th edition of the Indian Premier League Tata IPL 2022 will begin on Saturday. There are 10 teams to compete for 4 playoff spots in this edition. BCCI added 2 new teams, Lucknow Super Giants and Gujarat Titans, for the season of the IPL. A total of 74 T20 matches to be played. Defending champion Chennai Super Kings will take on Kolkata Knight Riders in the opening match on Saturday in Wankhede Stadium, Mumbai.
Now a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi is likely to have a mainly clear sky. The temperature will vary between 21 and 36 degrees Celsius. Leh and Gilgit are likely to have a generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Muzaffarabad will have a partly cloudy sky becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening or night. Guwahati and Shillong will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain, and Imphal and Kohima will have a partly cloudy sky.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi's controversial remark on J&K has been covered on the front pages. Delhi démarche after OIC. Wang Yi's J&K remark. India hits back, names him, reports the Indian Express. Punish the culprit, says PM as Mamata heads to Birbhum, reads a headline in Hindustan Times. The Asian Age writes, 8C asks Bengal for report today about massacre. Survivors recount details of ghastly Birbhum massacre, reports the Pioneer. 2 years on, national COVID plan to end on March 31st. Cases down and states can now deal on their own, writes the Times of India. Exports hit record $400 billion in FY22, writes the Hindu Business Line. And finally, air passengers will have seamless check-in facility at select airports in the country, allowing them to just scan the barcode on the ticket and gain check-in, reports the Tribune.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi condemns Birbhum violence, urges people of West Bengal to never forgive those who encourage criminals. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir declined after abrogation of Article 370. BJP Legislature Party in Uttar Pradesh to meet in Lucknow today to elect its leader. India rejects China's uncalled remarks on Jammu and Kashmir at OIC meet, says Beijing has no locus standi to comment on internal matters of India. India successfully test fires surface-to-surface supersonic cruise missile BrahMos in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Asia's largest civil aviation event, Wings India 2022, begins today at Begumpet Airport in Hyderabad. Centre decides not to issue advisories to states on COVID-19 management after March 31. Use of face masks to continue. World Tuberculosis Day is being observed today. Sprinter Pranav Prashant Desai wins India's first gold medal at World Para Athletics Grand Prix in Dubai. And PV Sindhu, Saina Nehwal and Kidambi Shrikant cruise to second round of Swiss Open Badminton. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.